sweetie. This is honestly, just go play. This is honestly just ridiculous.
We finally have all the answers we need, sweetheart.
No, we don't have any answers.
What do you mean? 2 doctors are wrong about what's going on? Are you that delusional?
Delusional? I'm not delusional for believing in our child.
Believing in our child? You're ruining our child's life. Our child has a problem and you are ignoring it.
She has no problems. She has absolutely no problems. She's perfect. She's our perfect little baby.
I know that you believe that, but look at all the things we've seen happening with her up until this point. Does this look like a normal developing child to you? Look at what she's doing.
Yeah, that's because you're yelling at me.
Does Daniel do this when we're yelling at him?
Mama!
What about the fact that that's all that she can say to us? Mama, Dada, like she's 3 years old.
But Daniel didn't say much at 3 years old.
Okay, maybe we should stop talking about this in front of her. Take her to her room.
Come on, sweetie. I'm so sorry. Come on. Hey,
Hi.
we really need to talk about this.
I'm really sorry for yelling at you.
I'm really sorry too. We shouldn't have done that in front of her either.
We shouldn't have. But as you can see, this is a problem. And it is causing problems in our family. Between you and I, between us and our children. Are you seeing that it's a problem?
Yeah, but how do we know that this is the reason why that we're having problems? Like Daniel's acting out in school.
Daniel got suspended for kicking his teacher. There's a difference between a child acting out in school and there being a serious reason behind it. We're not paying attention to him. Do you think Daniel sits there and enjoys seeing us screaming at each other all the time?
Probably not.
That's probably why he acts out in the house too, to get some sort of reaction out of us. We're either yelling at each other or occupied with Natalie.
And Daniel and Natalie don't interact.
And when's the last time we did anything for the 2 of us? I feel like any interaction we have nowadays is just screaming at each other because you don't want to accept that there's a problem with our child. I know you love her. She's great. I love her too. She's our baby. But it's obvious that there's problems that we need to start taking steps to fix, or else she's going to have a really bad life. And we're going to be the blame for that.
I just don't understand what you want to do.
Well, we did go to Dr. Brandt today, and they did confirm that there is a diagnosis of autism with Natalie. So that is set in stone now. We need to start dealing with that. And we don't know things on our own. That's why Dr. Brandt gave us...
I know my child.
And I know her too, but these doctors know the typical developmental milestones that children are supposed to reach that Natalie clearly has not reached.
Like what? Like what?
Look at Daniel and look at Natalie. Look at the difference in the development between the 2 of them.
What does she not do that Daniel did at 3?
Natalie is 3 years old and she can barely speak. She can say mom and dad. She can ask us for juice or a cookie or whatever the heck she wants. But she also doesn't make eye contact. How many times do you sit there yelling her name and she is dozed off in space, not even paying attention to what you're saying? And what about the constant tantrums she's throwing? Every time we're yelling at each other, whether or not we like to pay attention to it, she's banging her head on whatever is near her. Every time we go to a store, we're leaving the store, we're in public, she's causing some kind of scene that I think we can both agree is a little bit beyond a regular child tantrum. I think that what we need to do is contact Claudia. She's a behavior analyst that Dr. Brandt has suggested for us, and I think that she'll be able to give us some sort of guidance or treatment options so that we can get started with figuring this out. Setting a life up for Natalie, fixing things in this family because I love you.
I love you too. I mean, I guess I'm willing to meet with Claudia. I don't know about any treatment options. I don't know if I'm going to be
Let's start with
that.
the conversation. Here,
Okay.
why don't I give her a call and we can go from there.
Hello?
Hello, I'm looking for Claudia.
Yes, this is she.
Hi, my name's Tino. I was referred to you by Dr. Brandt.
Hi, Tino. Yes, I received the referral and I did get a little bit of information.
Yes, we were there for an appointment yesterday. Me, my wife Gabriella, and our daughter Natalie, who was just recently diagnosed with autism. Yeah, and so we got the referral to call you and get some I guess, guidance. We don't really know where to go from here, and we're having quite a bit of issues in the household because of it, and we need some help. We don't know where to go next.
Yes, of course I can help guide you guys. Did you want me to book you guys in for an appointment?
Well, when works best for you? We'd like to come in as soon as possible.
I could do Wednesday at 3.
Wednesday at 3? I think that'll work with me. Yeah, I'll double check with my wife and I'll let you know. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah, perfect. See you then. Bye. Hi guys, nice to meet you.
Hi,
My
nice to meet
name's
you.
Claudia.
Gino?
Hello. Hi Natalie.
Say hi. Want to say hi to her?
All right, so why don't you guys give me a little bit of a background information and we can start from there.
Well, how about I just start from our first doctor's visit?
Oh, okay, so you guys have been to doctors already.
Yes, so we went to our original doctor that was with Natalie since she was born.
Okay.
And the doctor over the years was having some concerns, started noticing some behavior patterns, and basically gave us the suggestion to go get further assessment, maybe talk to someone about potential learning disability that she might have, developmental disability. I started looking into it. I noticed that she wasn't reaching typical milestones, that kind of thing. So
Okay.
I was agreeing with what the doctor was saying. But unfortunately, Gabriella was very against what she called accusations against our child.
Okay.
So we made the decision to move doctors because we thought that the doctor was wrong, basically. So once we went to the new doctor reaffirmed what the original doctor said.
Okay.
And against her wishes, we did get Natalie tested, and there was a diagnosis of autism. So that's basically where we're at right now. The biggest issue being that I have seen the results and I believe them and I see the symptoms, but my wife seems to be a little bit more delusional to the fact that there's something happening and just doesn't believe that it's going on. So
Okay, so sometimes when you did say delusional, it is hard as a new parent once your child is given a diagnosis. Of course, you think everything is just going to be perfect, and then it's almost like a little bump in the road that occurs, right? So it is okay. You will come around to it. I just do want to let you know that if we do go ahead with the treatments, I do have a various amount of treatments, and these treatments can have a very big impact on Natalie. Developmentally, communication-wise, they will benefit her. And the diagnosis definitely does not mean that it's the end of the road from here and everything's not all right. It just means that this is the start of a new milestone, okay? So I just want you guys to be aware of that. You know, this meeting, we can talk about it with an open mind and we can go from there.
perfect.
Yeah. I feel like maybe I don't know enough about this, and when doctors are talking about all these treatment plans and things like that, it just makes me feel like my kid is being like a science experiment.
Okay.
So what are these things entail? Like what are you trying to fix? What are we trying to fix here?
So you did say she was showing some problem behaviors. Did you want to enlighten me on what they were?
Yeah,
or-
I can kind of go into the details, like a little bit about her symptoms and all that, because I think I've been a little bit more open and less biased to actually seeing what's been going on. So basically, the first thing we noticed was that Natalie wasn't walking until she was 2 years old, which is very different from our first son, Daniel. That's another thing. We have a 6-year-old son named Daniel who is exceptional, has nothing going on. I mean, not to say that Natalie isn't exceptional in her own way, but he reached all of the developmental milestones. So that's sort of what made me realize that Natalie was very far from the rest of her children her age. So it was the walking. She's 3 years old and she can say very limited things, 5 to 10 words. We don't know if it's that she doesn't want to say these words or she doesn't necessarily know how to articulate what she wants.
So there definitely is a communication.
There definitely is a lack of communication.
Okay.
She doesn't respond to her name very often, doesn't make eye contact. It's very, very rare that we can sit down and really interact with her in a way that we know that she's seeing us and hearing us. It just seems like she's always dazed and confused in her own world. And then I guess we need to talk about the tantrums that she throws.
Okay.
So whenever she's doing something that she is not comfortable with doing, or if she's not being paid attention to, or if we're yelling, which there's a lot of issues with us right now because of the the difference in opinion, I guess.
Yes.
Natalie starts to bang her head on the table or on the couch or starts hitting herself in the head, which I've started to notice is very troubling and probably the biggest sign that there is something going on. So yeah, I mean, other than that, Natalie doesn't communicate with her brother. She doesn't interact. We try to put her with friends, with cousins. She just kind of sits in her own world, plays with her cups, and doesn't have very many interests.
Okay, so hearing the background of behaviors that are present, I could let you know of some treatment recommendations. We can start off today. I'll let you know treatment recommendations, some community supports, any other things that I think would be important for both of you, even just as husband and wife, to attend on your own. And then from there, we can book another appointment and go.
So, how do I start off?
Okay, so I think that as of right now, I can go ahead and give you guys some recommendations when it does come to behavioral supports. So two things that I think would be very prevalent in this situation is, of course, IBI. If you guys have heard of it before, if you wanted to do some research.
What does IBI stand
Yeah, what
for?
does IBI
It's
mean?
intensive behavioral intervention.
Intensive.
Yeah, so all it means is that it's just a bunch of skills that are almost crammed together to help develop communication skills. Eye contact can be worked on. If she's not toilet trained, toilet training can be worked on. It's a lot of skills that will help definitely broaden her vocabulary as well as her development. Honestly, it could be done at home or it could be done in a clinic, whatever would be more comfortable with you guys. And it definitely based on parent preference. But I think it is important that you two are on the same page if you did want to start this behavioral intervention. Just because in order for her to succeed and to get better, the family dynamic needs to be on the same point too, right? So,
Well, of course. I mean, there's a huge rift right now in
exactly.
our marriage because of our opposing views, which is definitely impacting the care that we can give to our child. And I think that we need to work that out before we can give her the proper support that she needs.
Definitely. So, and then my other recommendation would definitely be parent or caregiver training. This training will definitely help you guys get on the same page and notice the needs that Natalie will be needed and provided in IBI supports as well. The training will help give you both skills and strategies that can help you interact with each other, as well as interact with Natalie and deal with any challenging behaviors that you had mentioned, headbanging. It'll definitely help you interact with that and learn how
What
to
to
work
do.
through it. Exactly.
Okay. I guess that doesn't sound too bad. What do you exactly, like, what are some kind of things that you'll be doing to help her with her language and her communication?
Yeah, definitely. So in the IBI supports, so something that it works off of is imitation, cooperation, attention. So for example, a session would be run and Natalie would be working with a behavioral analyst or an instructor therapist. And it'll be a one-on-one session, and from there they'll work on their eye contact and getting her to know her name. Something will be given to her, and she'd need to be echoic and give it back. So if I would say, "Hi, Natalie," we would try getting her to wave. So we would just, do a model wave. She would wave back at us. We would just build on the skills.
Okay.
And then something that I think would be very important is community supports as well. It is hard as a family getting a new diagnosis. There are two that are just right around the corner. One of them is the Geneva. It's a parent training workshop, and it's called Behavior 101. I think it'll be very important. It'll help you implement the strategies for assessing and targeting both future.
Now, how much does something like this cost?
So the good thing about these is they're actually paid for. So they will be free. It does come with the government with. Yes, so that if it would be an issue, obviously there are certain things that could be paid for, but these two supports in general are free of cost.
Well, because the issue for us is, we're trying to raise 2 children, and I mean, we're not made of money here, so it's already hard enough for us to try to keep up with funding 2 kids, and now let alone one that has to go through all of this expensive therapy. Is there funding options or anything?
So there also are funding options that can be applied for online through the governmentized website. And sorry, the other community resource that I want to let you guys know, I find this one very well to be in. It's called Autism Unplugged, and And they also have, you had mentioned that her play with her brother, there was not good communication.
Yeah, they
so
don't play enough. Like all my other friends' kids, you know, they get along really well.
Yeah.
They have a great brotherly sister relationship.
Yeah.
I don't really see that much with them.
So something that would be good for this Autism Unplugged as a community resource, if they actually have a play group. So in this play group, she'll be able to interact with other kids who has autism as well. And while interacting, she'll be learning her own skills as well. So that would definitely be something that you guys should discuss together. And we can go from there. Any questions did you guys want?
So
Important.
So where would we go from here? Like I know today was just all about kind of talking and letting you know our concerns and me trying to open up to this whole new idea because all of this is so new and there's so much going on. So what do we do? What do we do next?
So from here, so now that we've gone through this, I'll of course give you guys a few days to go through everything. If you guys wanted to do your own research on it, it would be very important.
I think we have some things to discuss about the before we move forward.
Yes, exactly. And then from there, I would have to do an at-home assessment, and these at-home assessments would just ensure that we're making the right behavioral plan in order to fit Natalie's needs as well as your own as well. But before we end off today, I do want to give you guys some homework assignments just to go home with so that get you thinking about this situation and working on yourselves. So you did say that the bonding wasn't there with Natalie and her brother. I want you guys to take one day out of the week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
My memory is
No problem. Take one day out of the week. Have a family bonding night. You guys can watch a movie. You guys can go to the park, have some fun.
Natalie, shh, someone's talking.
So even in an instance like that, if she was in IVI treatment, they would teach her to use quiet hands.
Quiet.
Yeah, quiet hands. So in an instance like that, instead of something like that, it's a behavior that comes unintentionally. Instead of getting mad at it or trying to stop it, we would just redirect it with a replacement behavior. Okay?
I feel like everything I do is
It's not us. We're gonna learn. We have no idea.
Exactly. So another thing is once the behavior plan is in effect, you guys are of course going to have to take on some of the workload at home. For example, a communication system would be put in place later on through the intervention. You would just have to work on that communication at home. And I also want to, as a homework assignment, ensure that you guys are giving your children the chance to bond. So if they're playing in separate rooms, if it's harder to move Natalie into the room with, you said, what was his name?
Daniel.
If it's harder to move her into the room with Daniel, just grab Daniel and move him into the room with her. Have them playing together and interacting in the same environment.
even if they're doing
Separate things.
Exactly, even if they're doing separate things. And one last thing before you go that I recommend, it's definitely personal preference and up to you guys. I think you should take on some kind of marriage counseling or find a common ground. It's very important to help cope with the diagnosis to ensure that you both are on the same page and to work on your relationship as well in order for Natalie to improve and in order for Daniel to settle down with his behaviors as well. It's important that you guys are on the same page through this. A lot of families do this, don't worry. I know you were saying this is hard on you. It's not only you guys. This is very prevalent. I see this every day. It's going to take a strain on you, but it's completely up to you.
I'm open to it. I'm definitely open to doing whatever it takes to get Natalie better. And thank you so much for all the options that you've given us.
No problem.
I don't know how Gabrielle is feeling, but this definitely has taken a little bit of a weight off my chest, knowing that there is supports out there. This won't be as hard as we think. We won't be alone in this.
Definitely.
So thank you so much for all the information you've been able to give us
No
today.
problem. We can end this here.
I just want to say, I mean, I feel a little bit better about this, and I know this doesn't mean that she's not still a beautiful, smart, capable girl, and you're just gonna help us bring that out in her.
Definitely. So we can go from here. I'll have my receptionist give you guys a call in about a week. And then we can go on with the assessment if you wanted to go ahead with the intensive behavioral interventions.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
Perfect. So this has been great. I will get back to you guys.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Thank
Nice
you,
meeting
Claudia.
Thank you so much,
No
Claudia.
problem. Bye, Natalie.